Hi, everyone. Matthew here again. With the days getting longer and longer lately, and it being daylight much later on into the evening, it reminds me of a few years ago when Heather and I spent part of the summer, taking a trip up into the Yukon Territory and Alaska. We spent over a month camping, enjoying the midnight sun where it would stay daylight past midnight, it's true, and ultimately visiting a friend of ours who had relocated to Dawson City, Yukon. 63 degrees north latitude, up on the Yukon River. It had been the city that was the center of the Klondike Gold Rush, the city that went crazy and boomed overnight. 100,000 people showed up, overnight, that kind of story. And we went to go check it out. And among all of the exploring that we did in Dawson, one day we were up on the hill, kind of overlooking the town. We were told incredible vistas of the river, of the city, of the little city. And we're up on this hill and we're driving around. And I stopped the car because I told Heather, I could swear I just saw Hebrew writing. So we backed up the car, and sure enough, there was a little area on this hill and an arch over the front doorway, and over the arch, in Hebrew writing, Beit Chaim, house of the living. But of course, the irony was that it was a little Jewish cemetery that had been erected over 100 years earlier, in the early 1900s, to bury Jewish guys who had gone up to search for gold. Apparently, there were up to 200 Jewish people living in Dawson around the turn of the century, and when some of them died, they need a proper place to be buried. And so this cemetery still stands to this day, proclaiming among all of the people who came for the gold rush, there were Jews here too. And I just remember the feeling I had as we kind of explored through there and saw the little plaques. There's only one real plaque and a few names, and just how proud I was of the fact that our people had made it all the way to the Klondike Gold Rush, had lived through everything we've lived through. It just was one of those moments that reminded me that there's a Jerry Seinfeld joke from one of his Seinfeld days about talking about women always saying, where can you meet men, where can you find men, and where to look for men, and he's saying, we're everywhere. Wherever there are women, there are men. And I kind of feel like that about Jewish people. Wherever there's something cool, wherever there are communities, we find our way to make our mark and eventually to erect something that will stand for all time and say, Jews were here. From the pyramids all the way to the Klondike Gold Rush and beyond, Jews were here. And I'm so proud to share that story with you as I wish you Shabbat Shalom.